me and one other guy were just cranking at it. And I'm
just
sorry.
That part. Forget the other part.
Me and this other guy.
Me and one other guy. We're cranking it so hard.
Welcome to In Moderation,
the show where we give you a moderate dose of info, sarcasm, and we already know we're not approved.
Welcome to our new podcast, 5 Shirtless Guys, one of which is walking on a treadmill.
Stay fit. Are we live?
Oh yeah, we're live.
Are we recording? Oh shit, we are recording. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast where I am eating half a chocolate cake that I reviewed this morning. And we're all shirtless because that's just kind of how I started and everybody decided to join in. It's about camaraderie at the end of the day, right?
Heck yeah. Cheers.
Exactly. We're raising money for a shirt.
I mean, could always shift the vibe a little bit more.
Oh, there we go.
Are y'all more of a V-neck person or just like a standard t-shirt? What do you
Definitely prefer the V-necks.
Oh, we're getting the village people going here. I don't have a hat, but I do have my fur.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There we go.
Fur works.
That's real good.
I think I have a tricorn hat around here.
My shit just fell off. That's fine.
How about one of these guys?
Nice.
Oh,
Scott has a train conductor's hat. What? You got a fucking Jack Sparrow hat?
Everybody listening to the podcast, I'm sorry. We're just... You're going to have to just check out the first 10 minutes on YouTube.
Episode. Yeah, everyone's going to be like, I love that one.
Wait.
Where they talked about what they wore.
We're going Jack Sparrow.
Episode.
Hold on, everybody. I have this really cool thing to show
one.
you. Look at it. Ooh.
Nobody mention what it is.
This is the podcast equivalent of the glowing suitcase in Pulp Fiction.
You know what? I got to admit, I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I've
seen it, but I don't really remember it.
It's one of
well,
those
then fuck me. Never mind.
Mike's out. Mike John. He just left.
Anyway, I feel like I do this every time. Welcome to In Moderation, the podcast where we give a dose of sarcasm, advice, and we already know we're not approved.
He's got more of the theme down than we do. I don't fucking
Well, he's been on this podcast, I don't know, 10 times now. Welcome back, Mike.
Why, thank you.
I think everybody knows you by now.
Introduce people. Should we, or should we just keep going and say fuck it?
Well, I think Jacob at least needs to introduce himself since he missed his first 10 minutes on the last episode.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I'm Jacob. I go online by Jacob Foods. I make nutrition content. I try and battle misinformation, help people get healthy, lose weight, eat more fiber, all that basically. I'm glad to be here for real this time. I actually have storage on my phone, so I won't nuke the podcast.
Knock on wood.
He's fucking recording everything in 4K, so he's got no room.
Yeah.
We're in 1080p now.
Recording it at 10,000 frames to play this in slow motion so he can have the first 27-hour In Moderation recording.
Perfect.
But too cheap to spring for the iCloud subscription that offloads all the storage.
I'm about to have to get one out of necessity.
And to round out this roundtable, we've got Avisha here as well.
Yes, sir. Is this my pointy little introduction? All right.
That it is.
I'm Avisha. I distilled science on all of the various socials. And I cast a pretty wide science net trying to help people identify science that can be applied to their everyday life with a pretty strong focus on health and nutrition, figuring out what not to do, i.e. what things are being claimed by the various different socials, viral videos, and try to do a deep dive into the actual medical literature to figure out, is it legit? Is it not? How can we apply the latest research to in some way improve our own lives?
I got one. What's up with the fucking direwolf situation? Are we bringing those back or is that now real? Did the headlines lie to me?
They say dire wolf, but like it's a small amount of genetics being put in. Like we're very far from bringing the full wolf back.
So this is a liar wolf, is what you're telling me.
Yes, it's a liar wolf.
No, but it like that's
exactly.
like a situation where it has like enough of like the DNA or whatever that you could claim that it's a dire wolf. Like you could say you had a dire wolf because technically there's dire wolf like genetics in there.
You could claim it's a demi dire wolf.
Whatever, you know. Whatever.
I'm actually 164th dire wolf. Yeah. Anyway, I'm Mike. I lost 110 pounds.
Actually, it's been a while since I looked at that article.
Yeah. Everybody just talk at the same time. That's how we're gonna do this. It's fine.
Perfect.
No, nobody talk.
Yep.
Perfect.
I think Avisha might be a little lag.
Yeah, a little delayed. I'm gonna go with considering it's been the same frame for like 3 minutes.
It's a good frame.
Good frame. Yep. We're gonna use that for the podcast thumbnail.
Oh shit!
Excellent. Yeah, I keep getting some delays on you guys also, where like some of you will just freeze up for a while. I don't know. Mike and Rob were frozen for a bit, but I don't know.
Well, should we let Mike tell his little story?
I'll say it again. I lost 110 pounds, and I help people do the same thing through not bullying, but kindness and understanding. We work on mindset. We work on the root issues rather than the symptoms, because far too often in this country, we're treating symptoms rather than causes, which just allow them to continue to flourish. So I focus on mindset things, focus on habits, focus on routines, lifestyles, all the good stuff that I feel like is left out of a lot of weight loss conversations.
And he does so while wearing a giant trucker hat, shirtless on a treadmill.
You know how it is.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
I'm pretty sure that's what they would say down there in Texas.
Probably. I don't know. I don't leave my house. It's too hot. Have you ever like been baking something and you open up the oven and heat just smacks you in the face and like you can physically feel it hitting you? That's what it's like every time I open my front door in the morning.
Sounds awesome.
Oof.
BP is great.
I am going actually not to Texas, to Boston next week. So starting next Wednesday, I'm going to be going to check out a few areas. So you live in the Boston area. Let me know what shit's around there. It's kind of a last minute thing where we're just like, we're going to go check out some places in Rhode Island and Boston.
Are you going to pop in on Tommy Martin?
Oh, does Tommy live there? I didn't know
he commutes to Boston. He works works in Boston. He lives just outside of it.
All right. I'll have to message him or something. But yeah, like Scotty went there. He said it was awesome. So I'm like, I'm going to go check this place out. I'm going to go see.
So how do you guys feel about Dave Asprey putting stem cells in his penis to try to increase
my God. I saw that.
I saw this. Yeah.
That's news to me.
I'll just tell you, I want to see.
What's the end goal?
I think you could just stop at how do you guys feel about Dave Asprey?
It's like the bulletproof coffee is like too vanilla now. He's taken it a step forward. And he said in the interview, he's like, I've been injecting stem cells into my penis to increase the size. Not that I need any more size. It's fine the way it was. He had to make that distinction. I've increased it by 2 inches, he says.
I'm not entirely sure that's how that works.
Does anybody subscribe to his OnlyFans to verify this claim?
You're not totally in on this?
Like, what's he selling from it?
My skeptic's mind.
Like, if you go to his website, like if you use code BONER, do you get half off of his gene altering thing?
And you get half more.
Well, I don't know. After trying all those gummies, those online ads have sold me. Nothing's worked. So maybe I'll go with the injectable.
It must be that he's got a needle fetish. So when he injects the stem cells, suddenly magically it grows by 2 inches.
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it.
He injected his urine or something like that. So, fuck it. That wasn't crazy enough. He had to keep going.
I mean, from an actual scientific perspective, when you inject stem cells, like they are there to provide some potential growth. The problem is you need a growth stimulus. Like nothing, they don't just magically cause growth. That's one of the big problems with stem cell therapies in general. They're good for wound healing because the body's natural wound healing processes have already been triggered, and sometimes they can help speed things up. But you need to provide some level of like micro damage for it to then get recruited to go and cause growth. So he's got to be combining it with some sort of, I don't know, rack for the penis to maybe get growth. Sounds terrible.
No, it's not that small, he said, not that tiny.
Well, compared to a whole human body, I'm saying, it's all compared to what, right? So, a tiny penis rack. Like, I'm sure they sell that on some
it a little
already.
Little bit more every day, cause that little bit of micro tearing.
Avisha, would this be kind of similar to like, if somebody needed a new kidney, like, yeah, you could just cut them open and put it inside of their abdomen, but it's like not going to do anything because it's not connected to anything. It's like just sitting there.
It's sort of analogous. Of course, this is on a more cellular level. Like the body is pretty good at taking things like stem cells and platelet-rich plasma with like the various growth factors and doing some stuff with it. It's not quite as disconnected as a full organ, but still just injecting stem cells randomly without anything else to direct them. A lot of stem cell therapies these days use like scaffolding, where if you're trying to create particular repair, they'll put like this whole operation to give like a little scaffold for what you're trying to grow, or various things to direct the signal to create growth. Otherwise,
what is it used for mostly? Like just like when you say like damage or injury, like what kind of injury, like what kind of damage, like what are they using it for?
So I know the most success that I've seen with regards to like tissue repair is usually when helping to treat injuries. When you take stem cells and inject them into an injury site, then sometimes that can help to treat injury repair, chronic pain. And sometimes it's almost like prolotherapy is when you inject just a saline solution around like a joint or connective tissue, and it creates like inflammation in that area, which causes the body to sort of restart certain repair processes. The
when you
process
say damage,
of
though, like a burn or like, you know, it's a scrape, like what?
Well, actually, burns are one of the coolest applications of stem cell therapy because there are certain like stem cell sprays now that are being used to treat burns that can heal third-degree burns with almost no scarring, whereas like 20 years ago that would never have been possible. So if it's done right after the burn, before the scarring process already happens.
So like next to the Narcan, they have some stem cells like in their little like pocket or whatever, the EMTs and shit.
If only it were usable by EMTs, but there's definitely like hospitals that have the ability to do it.
So they can have a fire extinguisher with the stem cells in it.
That's how
exactly.
How hard is it to make stem cells?
Dave Asprey popped it onto his stovetop.
Where do I get these stem cells? I'm asking for a friend, and
yeah,
I need
like
them quickly.
how when they make stem cells, because I know they used to use like fetal tissue or something from.
Yeah, these days it's a lot easier.
Yeah, like now I know now it's easier.
You can actually take fat tissue, fat cells, and cause them to regress to become stem cells.
Well, we got a lot of that lying around. I feel like we could definitely
let's go donate our fat.
I really blew it when I
yourself.
lost 110 pounds and didn't funnel any of it into my cock.
Yeah, you could have sold it for stem cell research there, Mike.
Can I say
interesting?
I think we're
there's
past
different
the
types.
point
Sometimes we're still using bone marrow as well.
Words.
Boner marrow.
That's what they're calling it these days.
Like, you know, with like
this podcast really is 5 shirtless guys.
I know
right now.
Like, okay, so when they break the femur and they slowly pull it apart, yeah, that. But for your downstairs, like that's all we're looking at. I mean, with the little stem cells as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure 20 years ago I got an ad for a pump that does that.
So injecting the cells into your penis is the equivalent of getting in the car before you even know where the destination you want to go is, and you're just sitting in the car scrolling your phone.
Pretty much. If I had to guess, I really would predict that he is injecting alongside some sort of pump device that he has to use on like a daily basis.
Let's make the rest of this podcast just determining what he's doing exactly for the next 45 minutes. Let's really just
dissect Dave Asprey's penis.
The fucking thumbnail.
I've got a theory, and I don't hope this happens because I don't wish this on anybody. But he wants to live to be 180.
Right.
The more he says that, I think the higher his chances get of him dying of something stupid like an accident.
Oh man.
At like 67.
67.
Sepsis from injecting stem cells.
There is a big
into your
second
penis.
mover advantage in this space.
Interesting.
Like I'm all for living to 180, but it's one of the big problems actually in the whole longevity space. You can't really run clinical trials on humans for longevity purposes because those trials would take forever. So instead you need to use like surrogate biomarkers, and even those are still hotly debated. Like what are the surrogate biomarkers of human aging? People say telomeres, but lately we've come to realize that those are just one very tiny piece of the equation. Then you've got like all various epigenetic aging tests and markers, and those have dubious levels of actual relevance in terms of, are they just like, is it a symbol, or do they have any causative impact on the aging process, or are they just things that go in concert with a lot of the aging, so they're not really targets for intervention?
Interesting. So we have a lot of things that were like correlated, but we're like, we don't know if it's causative. We don't know actually if that's what's causing the aging.
Exactly. It's like even something like plaque buildup in your tau protein buildup in the brain with Alzheimer's. It's like we used to think that was the cause of Alzheimer's, but there's a lot of debate back and forth. Is that a sign of it, or is that a cause of it? And a lot of the treatments that were only designed to try and remove the plaque buildup have not shown very good efficacy when it comes to actually reducing symptoms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Interesting. So what do we do to
within
avoid
the aging
Alzheimer's
space? Well, step one, don't be born with the wrong ApoE alleles, because if you have if you have both wrong pairs, it's like a 32x increased risk of Alzheimer's. But
shit.
There's actually Dr. Richard Isaacson runs the Alzheimer's Prevention Clinic out of, I think it's Cornell, maybe it's Columbia, one of these local universities. And he's been doing a lot of work trying to just, in a clinical setting, take people with the highest risk factors and do things to mitigate their chances of developing it, reverse certain processes. And surprise, surprise, it's very much about exercising a lot and eating good foods and using your brain.
God damn it. I was.
What about
for
getting good
injecting
sleep?
Things.
Oh, yeah, surprise, surprise.
Say it ain't so.
Actually, one of the best like activity to do that has been measured in various ways, ping pong.
I can see that.
Like,
I could actually see that.
the requirement of fast hand-eye coordination motion, it's not too taxing on the body. There is a social element to it. Like, ping pong players seem to have a lowered risk of Alzheimer's as compared to most other physical activities.
I feel like they need to start selling that. Like ping pong ball makers need to be like the anti-Alzheimer's hack or something like that. And throw that right
Exactly.
on the packaging.
It
And it
feels like
wouldn't
that's
be
good
entirely
that
rift.
pickleball has gotten so big. I don't know if pickleball is big down there, but I mean, that's
it
just a
really
giant
is.
game of ping pong.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like take ping pong and tennis and give them a little weird love child.
Yeah.
It's actually fun as shit. I love pickleball. I haven't played in a little while, but that's a good. That's a good sport.
I actually have like some brand sent me custom pickleball paddles at some point.
Well, dang.
I think it was a
You
date.
Americans getting brand stuff. I'm up here like nobody sends stuff to Canada.
Don't worry, I've made
So
my
Canada isn't
lost
real.
industry poison. They don't send me anything.
Once it becomes part of the United States, then you'll be just fine. You'll be in the creator program. You'll get stuff sent to you, but you keep just pushing back against this whole "we become part of America" thing. No reason.
It's almost like we like our healthcare.
You don't need
Help. It's one thing. It's one thing. Think about the stuff you'll get. Think about capitalism.
Yeah, the first thing
man.
you'll learn as an American is to be more materialistic.
Yes, that's
I
Rob,
thought
have you
the
ever
first
seen
thing
the
you learn
Gatorade
as
aisle?
an American is to own a gun.
That depends on which state.
That's the second thing.
that
Oh.
just comes with every Bible you get.
Oh, okay. I got a lot to learn.
But you
I mean,
guys
to pass
already
the
use like
to
fucking
pass the Canadian test, all you have to do is say you're sorry.
right, exactly. But you guys
Yeah.
already use like freedom units and shit, so you're already like halfway there. If we took over any other country, they'd have like, all the metric system. Now have to get rid of this and figure out how ounces work and shit. Y'all know how miles work and stuff, so you'd be fine.
Can I? You know
True.
what the most annoying American thing is? Phillips head screwdrivers. Stop fucking using those, you goddamn Americans.
That's an American.
They're so much
thing?
better than flatheads. What are you talking about?
Robertson screws. Robertson
Robertson
screws are the
That's- Why are
superior.
you
guy
making
talking
shit
about?
up?
That's not real.
That's not a real thing.
Stupid Canadians and their fake screws that are superior.
Okay. All right. Well, while
gotta-
Rob fucking rants about screws and stupid shit, what other
Yeah.
like science breakthroughs? are
Excuse
going on
me
right now?
for
That's what I want to know.
Being constructive.
Constructed my ass.
Go over here with my drill. You guys talk science.
Break.
I'm gonna go be manly.
I want to know stuff besides the dire wolf. I want to know what other like science breakthroughs are happening.
Okay, the Robertson screw actually looks pretty cool. It's just a square.
Yeah, it's a square, and it's far superior than the Phillips. It strips less, and it holds in place on the screw head while you're drilling.
So America should take credit for inventing that because no one's ever heard of it, and that can.
Do
be
you,
a scientific
okay. Do
breakthrough.
you guys actually want to know why you guys don't use the Robertson?
Why?
It's because when Robertson invented it, Henry Ford wanted to buy the patent in order to own it and make all the money himself. And Robertson was like, no, this is going to be something for everybody. And Henry Ford was like, fuck you, we're using Phillips. And that's why you guys use Phillips.
That sounds about right.
I mean, everything
Can
in
I
America boils
share
down to
something? One of the more proud things of being an American that I think might sell you on this.
What?
Let me. I think I'm actually able to share this, and this will show up. This is the
Oh
Gatorade.
God. Okay,
You
so
don't
Mike's
have
showing
nearly
the
this amount of Gatorade.
yeah, Mike's showing the
should
soda,
be able to see
Gatorade,
this.
everything aisle on his. Well, the listeners on Spotify can't see this.
If they're watching the video, they might be able to.
I better be
Maybe.
watching the video.
If not, just type in Gatorade aisle on Google.com.
Legit. When I went to the U.S. and I went to a store, I looked down the soda aisle and I was like, "Oh my fucking God, what is this? There's so many colors, and there's like shelves upon shelves of different flavors from the same brand."
RFK Jr. is trying to take this away from us.
It's insane.
Imagine if it was just all natural colors.
That'd
It'd be fine.
Look awful.
Just pale, muted.
Have you ever seen like the healthy
Sickly.
rebrand of Gatorade?
No.
No.
I kind of.
There's one of these accounts that does all these like graphics design. Let's go and take
Oh,
something,
okay,
and they
yeah,
do a total
yeah.
rebrand of it. They make it like look like a healthy product and do a really good job.
Oh yeah, that's Matt does that. I think from Cheat Day Designs. It's really good. That's good stuff.
Did
Do
you do a
people
collab with them
recognize that
for
taking
oats?
Red 40 out of a Dorito isn't going to fix our obesity problem?
No, they don't.
Like, have we even talked about that at all as a
No.
nation? Like, does anybody think finally we've got the Red 40 out of my Doritos that are still?
Well, isn't it Red
3,000
40 taking
calories
the
a
Red
bag?
40 out of Doritos is going to reduce your autism rate?
I don't want my autism rate reduced.
That's a superpower. What are you talking about?
In fact,
Oh, there we go. Mike's
We've gotta
changed his
switch
hat
up.
from the giant trucker hat to "Please be patient, I have autism."
Well,
They're trying
according
to
to
take that away from
RFK,
us.
people with autism can't even pay taxes. So, like, you know, that's
Oh, God.
I'm way ahead of him. I haven't paid taxes in 10 years. Sorry, autistic. I've got the papers.
I got my tricorn hat on. I'm obviously not a fan of taxes.
It's true. Just gotta conduct the right raids, have a nice little port of safe harbor.
yeah. Okay.
Our issues are not going to be solved by switching the Shake Shack from seed oils to beef tallow. It's going to be exactly the same.
They are. God damn! Not with that attitude. It's doing nothing. Like,
You just have to try harder.
I
believe.
mentioned this the last time. I don't know if this was even ended up in the final podcast because of my storage issues, but my biggest qualm with all this is like it is encouraging more people to eat fast food by saying that the fast food is healthier now because of tallow. And you would think the focus would be on getting people out of fast food and away from these big food corporations. But now, oh, you know, if McDonald's switches to tallow, suddenly it's good for you. Now everyone go and eat McDonald's. Like, what's that all about? Why is
Meanwhile,
that
the cost of your eggs and produce
See,
is going up.
To play
It's
devil's
like so
advocate for a
counterintuitive.
minute, I would say that if we were in fact able to take the fast food chains and modify what they're doing to a degree where the fast food itself would actually be healthy, then that would be a fantastic thing for
That would
health
be.
in this country, because
Yes.
one of the main
Yes.
problems is people either don't know how to make food, don't have time to make food, or too lazy. Like, if we could have chains that give us good food at good prices, the problem is just it's easy to cut corners on everything and use the cheapest stuff and do things to
So
maximize
what we need is more
taste
Taco
and-
Bell, is what you're saying. That's
The issue is just that people are taking that idea, which is obvious, which is great and true, and saying that tallow is going to do that, which it's not.
Yeah. It's like
let's
you
report
approach it with, he comes on a platform of, oh, we want holistic health, root cause of disease, and then starts using a reductionist approach of it's this one ingredient that is the problem.
right, but he swims in
Right.
fucking lakes and rivers that are filled with bacteria. Are we really
water.
like? He literally says, "Why would you take medical advice from me?" Like, he's the head. It's all a fucking parody. Go watch just Idiocracy. Then it all just makes sense.
I've
That's
been
all you
meaning
need
to
do.
watch that.
That's all you need to do is watch that movie, and all of this makes
Yeah.
sense.
Maybe you got a bit too much
At this
Giardia.
point, Idiocracy is like an escape from reality, which is, it used to be, oh, we don't want to devolve to Idiocracy. Now it's like looking back fondly at what could have been.
It all circles back to the electrolyte drinks. Brondo.
Brondo,
Fucking
the
Gatorade
thirst mutilator. Bro, Brondo's coming out soon. We're gonna get it soon. Don't worry.
Nowadays, it would be fucking element. It's what plants crave.
Hydrogen water is what plants crave.
Use code Asprey's Boner to get 10% off of your next element shipment. What could we do to make fast food healthier? And I'm not just talking about making everything grilled, because some of the stuff that's grilled is fine, but it always feels like a compromise.
Here's my
I
thing.
don't know if
So
that's
with that-
controversial.
So, like, here's the thing. Like, for me, fast food, when it's just the main issues. Like, I remember Dr. Sarah Ballantyne made a video recently showing, like, how, like, actually, you know, it can be fairly nutritious. I just see it as it's just always a fucking calorie bomb. Like, when you get something from a fast food place,
Right.
it's like minimum 1,000 calories. Minimum. Like, you're 1,500, 2,000 easy. And you're like, well, of course, now you're going to be in a calorie surplus with all of this. So it's just a lot of extra fat, a lot of extra sugar, all these things. It's just like make it incredibly high in calories and super tasty. I think that, like, I feel like those two are just like the main drivers of it.
There's actually a very interesting shift now. Like, I did a video a couple months ago about, there was this viral video claiming that Big Food was now trying to hack Ozempic by making foods that bypass Ozempic's appetite reduction, and they're trying to make them even more hyperpalatable to make even people on Ozempic still get fat. When you actually look into what they were talking about, what is happening is Big Food is realizing that Ozempic is putting a very hard cap on how many calories people can consume and shifting eating behavior to make them crave protein and amino acids more, crave vegetables more, essentially nutrient dense foods, because the body is not consuming enough calories. Therefore, it is prioritizing the things it needs the most. And what they're trying to do now is create processed foods that are essentially little protein nutrient bombs that they're selling in small portion sizes. And that in and of itself is not a bad thing, even for people not on the Ozempics of the world, because if you have tasty snacks that are actually high in protein and nutrients, then that could be a nice option.
Yeah, that does sound like a nice option.
I think if we just made it small in little ball form, people would eat it too. Just because, like, we're getting to the point where we just kind of want pills. You know, you just take like a pill and like, oh, I'm good. So like, you just make it a tiny little thing. Like, oh, all right, just pop this in.
You know, my biggest complaint with fast food is they put like a single leaf of lettuce on it.
Yeah,
like,
and most people don't even want that. They just take that off.
Yeah, but I mean, if we could get people and if we could get the stores to actually put a decent amount of green on that burger,
people
that would make it more filling.
People would just complain. They'd be like, what the fuck is this stupid shit on my meat patty? And they just throw it away. That's what I think.
That's
I feel
what
like one of the
did
biggest
when,
challenges there is just the supply chain.
Any company that's ever removed red food dye or any food dye from their food, like I think Fruit Loops in the United States at one point did a test run where they used natural colors and everybody complained about it. They said it tastes awful now. But in a blind study, no one could tell the difference.
Right.
You know what's funny though? You know what's funny about that is that they've also done, some people have also done blind things comparing the American Fruit Loops to Canadian Fruit Loops. Canadian Fruit Loops do use the natural colors, and people actually like the Canadian Fruit Loops better.
Here he goes.
They probably are better.
Again.
It's fucking Canada, stupid.
Look,
I just can't wait till we annex them.
On behalf of
See,
all
one
of us,
thing about America.
Oh yeah.
Americans know what purple tastes like. We know what blue tastes like.
Blue. It tastes like blue. It tastes red.
Okay, that
Like
might
blue
explain
raspberry.
something. So
That's fair.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. The new Pepsi, it's a blue one. It's a blue Pepsi.
What the fuck are you talking about? Why are you making stuff up
That's
again?
not new. We've had that.
First it's screwdrivers, now it's
It's
Pepsi.
new here anyway. Okay, you know what? Let me go grab one. I've got one in the fridge. I'm gonna go grab it.
I just want to say real quick, while Rob goes and grabs this, none of us are advocating for food dyes.
I don't know about you. I say everyone should get a liter of food dyes delivered to their house every single morning.
I'm saying
I get a gallon of red 40.
The orange.
Orange.
I mean, if you put enough yellow 5 on your skin, it'll turn your skin translucent and let you see through to your organs.
What?
This is Pepsi
cool.
Electric
Yellow 5.
Zesty Citrus. And it is the bluest soda I have ever seen.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm about to Google this one.
Is it the electric that adds the blue?
I guess so, but they went
shock it?
so overboard
I know what blue tastes
with
like. I don't know what electric tastes like.
with the brilliant blue in here.
That is a little
Like
frightening.
it straight up stains your tongue blue. This must be like
It's because methylene blue is all the rage.
Oh, okay.
Can we dispel this real quick? The methylene blue, just for anybody who might be on the fence.
See, the thing about dispelling it is that methylene blue is a compound that has a biological impact. It has some benefits. It has some drawbacks. It has some risks. It acts as a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. It can affect mood. It can affect focus. People who take it do, in fact, for some of them, feel a cognitive boost. They feel sometimes a little boost in energy. Like, it is something that does have an effect. The problem is there are also some risks. Like, don't take it alongside an SSRI. Don't take too much. It's something that is very poorly understood because there's not a large amount of clinical research outside of very narrow conditions. And it's also completely unregulated and the dosage is weird. So like, it's very easy to overdo it and misuse it, but it is something that has an effect, and it floats in that gray area where just the general public have to be very careful.
Right.
So is it technically an artificial dye? And if RFK bans it, are people going to start turning against him?
It is an artificial dye, but it is not used as a food dye. It is used in like emergency room contexts. It's actually highly antifungal in certain way. It's used to treat toe fungus when combined with red light. A couple other uses in a more
I remember using
setting.
it in my microbiology lab for staining.
Yeah.
See, when you said it's used in an emergency room, I was like, okay, so when people start turning to yellow, they inject a little bit of blue in them.
It's like the 4 humors. You got to balance them.
Yeah, it's used to treat septic shock, I believe.
Oh, that's pretty
I
important.
just
then.
remember
Most
when I
people
was
taking
using
it are probably not having sepsis.
I remember they told me do not let it touch your skin because it will stain and not wash out. And I was very scared of that. Now people are putting it on their tongue.
If it
That's how the
does
Blue
touch
Man
your
Group
skin,
does that.
vitamin C actually is helpful for getting it out.
Really?
Yes.
Vitamin
The
C.
Methylene Blue Man Group.
You know,
The methylene blue man, they just fucking get a whole
That's how
bat
they have so
of
much energy. It goes so
and they
crazy.
pop out.
Their music would suck too. I mean, any
yeah,
GOP conference, they always have somebody who's like never sung once do the anthem.
Oh shit.
They'd be smacking buckets and stuff all out of,
Yeah, it's
out of
dangerous.
key. And can we get that going? The Methylene Blue Man Group.
Get whatever
Blue
we
Man
want
Group.
going. Not
We can do anything we want.
the problem-
We're
yeah,
people
not Rob
on the
because he's in
internet.
Canada. But we as Americans
damn it.
can do whatever we want.
Let's include. I think Rob can come in time to time. Won't be a full member.
Well, that depends on if your borders actually let me in.
see, Rob, the question is, how would your beard look when it's blue? Then you'd be Bluebeard.
I think it might look pretty sick, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
There's an
I'm all for
idea.
it.
There's an idea. Okay, so actually, I'm planning on doing a Twitch streamathon for my birthday coming up, and I actually have on my board one of the goals ideas being dye my beard. So maybe if we get enough
Do it.
hit enough goals on this birthday subathon, then I'll be
Stretch goal.
Bluebeard.
I like it.
I think we're giving Dave Asprey some ideas, and I don't like it.
I actually have dyed my beard blue before, but I've never had a beard even close to that length.
So, did you like bleach it first or just straight up?
Yeah, you have to. It's not going to take at all over the existing color. I mean, yours is light enough that there would be like a shifting. You'd get a sort of bluish
Right.
greenish,
Right.
very dark look. But if you want solid blue, you need to bleach it first.
Right. I'm always worried about the bleaching process since it's weakens the strands and stuff.
Yeah, you can get more sensitive bleaches, like bleaches for sensitive skin, bleaches that damage the hair a little bit less when they have sort of combined formulas. It's really not too bad as long as your hair is healthy.
Welcome
All
to
right,
In
I'll have to
Moderation,
look
where we
into
talk
that.
about dyeing your fucking hairs blue and all sorts of other colors.
I mean,
I mean, this-
my hair is actually blue right now, or some of it.
Oh, we started on penis stem cells. I think we're on our way up, honestly.
Yeah, we've covered the whole body at this point.
Let's you know what? Let's take a shift.
No,
here.
we're missing the feet. We're missing the feet. Come on.
God.
Well, that's in the
Actually, I
Patreon.
mentioned how methylene blue can treat foot fungus. So
There you go.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
There it is. Mentioned.
Shit.
But
I had a guy
I want
in
to.
my,
We're always
DMs.
talking about what's bad, and we've been talking, and it's important to do that because it's so prevalent. I think we should also share the things that we've seen lately that are good. Like, what are some good pieces of advice you've seen in a video lately? I've
Well,
got a
Mike, you got to
couple.
start us out then.
I'll start us off. There was somebody who had said it was a little bit of a tough love situation, but they'd said that I wish I knew who this was. They said your excuses are all valid, but they're excuses nonetheless. So the things that you're feeling are true, and there's reasons that you're feeling them, and reasons that you're acting the way that you are, or not acting the way that you want to be. But you deserve a solution. Outside of that, what can we do to get around these things so that the excuses aren't dictating our actions anymore? And I just thought it was a really good way to release people of having to hide from blame or shame that comes with not accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. Because a lot of the times the reasons that we're in the situations we're in is because our coping mechanism is food or rotting. So when we feel shame from inaction, it just compounds on itself and builds more shame and more inaction. So I just thought that was really useful and a neat piece of advice or clarification.
yeah, I think that's great. I know for myself that my coping mechanism, like when I get into a hole where I cannot make myself be productive, rather than distract myself with eating, I literally distract myself by like reading more research papers because that tickles like the part of the brain that says, oh, I'm being productive right now, I'm learning. But it's actually a problem I deal with a lot because it's so easy to get down this rabbit hole of, oh, I'm being so productive and learning stuff, but not actually translating even 10% of the things that I'm reading towards actual sharing, generation, creation. And it's a bad zone to get stuck in sometimes. And I think everyone has that type of thing. Like it's so easy to convince yourself that something you're doing is part way towards what you want to be doing and is not inherently bad, but it's not good. Like the biggest problem we typically all face is actually devoting our time to the things that make the biggest difference as opposed to just little bits along the way.
Like Shirtless podcasts.
Like Shirtless podcast.
This makes a difference.
Yeah, something's different.
We are normalizing the effect of the requirement for shirts in the podcasting world.
I'll tell you that
I like that.
the reason that I have a following is because almost 2 years ago, I took my shirt off at the boardwalk by the beach. And it's actually how I met you, Liam, because you had stitched my video of me doing this.
That a bunch.
And it was the first time that I'd done that, and since I'd lost my weight. I'd had the weight off for a little while, and I'd always worn a shirt and jeans to the beach. Like, I covered myself up as much as I could. But that summer, it was the first time I wore shorts, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I may as well go all the way. And I took my shirt off, and 10.5 million people saw me do it. And that was pretty wild. But I'm about to go back there next week, and I'm going to take the third installment of that video.
Yeah.
I've been doing one every year now.
That's awesome.
So
It's great.
it's if anybody out there is nervous to be among the people because you don't feel like you're allowed to or whatever, just send them to me. I'll tell them.
So, Mike, how did we meet?
I'm not really sure. I was following.
Well, geez, you
and
remember
Liam
how
for
you met
years.
Liam, but not me? Is it because I'm Canadian?
I think that might
Probably.
be it.
God
We're not
damn
allowed to
it.
think about Canadians here.
I think we had just mutually followed. I was following you, and then you followed me back, and I said, "Oh, holy shit! Now I'm in the big leagues. Now I realize you guys are a bunch of fucking assholes."
We try to be. No, here, listen. This is what this is something that I feel like needs to be more normalized, and it's because I've been going over this fucking Tiffany plate a bunch of times. Have you seen this shit where this lady, she's got like cottage cheese, and then she puts mustard on it, and then she dips a bunch of shit in it. Like, yeah, it's weird, like whatever. But like, I think also when people are like, oh, I gotta be healthy, fuck, man, now I gotta look up these recipes, and I gotta get all the right ingredients, and I gotta make it, and then I gotta store these things because I gotta meal prep and all this shit. Why not just like put some shit on a plate? Just dumb it down, literally as dumb as it possibly can be. Get yourself a plate, find nutritious shit that you like. I don't care what it is. Or there's berries or fucking pickles or what, who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, whatever. Just have that stuff, put it on a plate, and then have something like pre-made, like dipping thing that you like. I was talking about in the videos, like the Ball House dressings and shit, but like, it doesn't matter. Just like whatever condiment that you like to like dip things in, do that. If it's fucking cottage cheese and mustard, you weirdo, that's fine. But, just have something and then just eat. Like, how long did that take you? You were at your fridge, you have a plate, boom, you put stuff on it, then you eat it, done. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated with all these, like, I got to make these recipes and chop shit up. No. Like, that's why I kind of liked when the Balkan breakfast was like kind of going viral and people were just like eating stuff. I'm like, yeah, just put it out there on your table. Don't even use a plate. Just literally put it on your table straight. And people are like, you're raw dogging the table. I'm like, I've raw dogged way worse than a fucking table. Trust me. So just put it somewhere and then eat it. It's not that complicated. That's what I would say.
Just not on a wood cutting board.
I mean, honestly, go primal. Be a fucking primal boy. I don't give a shit at this point. Do whatever you want.
If it makes you feel
I feel
good,
like my
eat your
version of
chest
that a
before
lot
doing
of the
it.
time, I'll just like take a full day's worth of nutrients and just put them in a smoothie and then
Sure.
just
Why did I suddenly just notice you have a hook?
Yeah, I was just about to say, we're 40 minutes into this. You got a hook? You're
sometimes
supposed to put the hook at the beginning of the video.
Shit.
It's the content creation rule number
sometimes
one.
you just got to be thematically appropriate.
Oh, okay.
He's also got a peg leg. He's going all out.
Avast you mateys.
Yeah, it doesn't have
So
to
when
be.
I put them in smoothies.
Yeah, just put them in a fucking
Can I-
put them in a blender. Put everything in a blender and just make it that way. Fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Put it somewhere and then put it in your mouth hole. Done.
I want everybody here to really internalize the next words I'm about to say. Anyone listening right now, fear opens wallets. If somebody is seemingly trying to make you afraid of anything,
Yeah.
and not offering information, or they just happen to conveniently be selling the solution, they're trying to get you to open your wallet. It's not very complicated. It really isn't. You just change a couple of things and you do them consistently. You find a way to enjoy them, and you go on, and suddenly you're no longer profitable to the multi-trillion-dollar wellness industry, which makes quite a bit more money than big pharma, as they call them. Fear opens wallets. If you are afraid right now, there's a reason for it.
It's basic human psychology. There's some really interesting studies where they go and they try to measure how much people will do to get a certain amount of money, and then how much they will do to not lose that amount of money. So like they'll say, here's $50, either do this or we'll take it from you, or you can do this to earn $50, and across the board, everyone will always do more to avoid losing that $50 than they would to get that $50.
That's interesting.
So how do you apply that to the real world?
Well, in
Out
this
of
sort of
curiosity.
context, all these companies typically apply it in the sense that people are willing to spend more to avoid losing than to gain. People will react more based on fear than for positives. Like, it's really hard to get people to do something to improve themselves, but it's easier to get them to be afraid of something that might go wrong. I'm not saying it very clearly, but I think, let me think about a good example of this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, anytime I start a video with something that feels negative, it does better than the videos where I start with, like, just a calm, positive tone. It's I almost kind of have to bait and switch it to get my messages across. Because if I just come forth with like good information, like encouraging, motivational information, people don't tune in. It's not encouraging enough for them to stick around.
My most successful video of all time was actually ironically, the one that I think first put me in touch with Rob.
Oh yeah.
Was a little bit out of my normal character, where usually I'm extremely level-headed in everything that I say about science, health, all of that. But I decided to be a little bit over the top and talk about a study about putting bananas in smoothies and why it can degrade the polyphenols in those smoothies.
Oh yeah,
I started off by being like, I'm not surprised. I was like, stop putting bananas in your smoothies. It like destroys their nutritional value. And I still hold to the fact, like, I no longer put bananas in my smoothies because it legitimately does degrade the polyphenols. It doesn't make the whole smoothie not healthy. It just lowers it all to a certain degree. If you ever put it in there and like let it sit for a day and then try to taste it afterwards, like, that is why it tastes so bad, because of that enzymatic breakdown. But the problem is that video got me like another 200,000 followers on Instagram or something, because I was talking about something to be afraid of with regards to health and showing science around it. And then I posted another follow-up video for like a 5-minute breakdown of all of the actual science around that. Go like look at all the nuance. Let's talk about why it is something to keep in mind if you're trying to optimize, but not something to be afraid of. And not, 40,000 people saw that, because who cares? No one wants the details. No one wants the nuance.
To be fair, the follow-up video is why you're here right now. So
yeah, I mean, it had its place.
Yeah.
I just wish the two could be like, I could link the two. Like, don't share this until you watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Jacob over here, I'm going to hold that forever. I think I might have been like the first person to find you. You had like, I don't even think 100 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you were just posting fact after fact. I'm like, this dude's rocks. Like, you guys got to check this out. It was just like, it was these 5-second videos where you just had the caption and you're stone cold mogging us on the thing. And it was just like, that's it. That's the famous face. And then, you guys all saw him too. And it's like, that's an example of how a fact can just ride on itself without having to scare people.
Okay, seriously, folks. Mike remembers how he met Liam, how he met Jacob, how he met Avisha, because that was just 48 minutes ago. He does not remember how he met me.
I do. I have a screenshot of you following me.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the
As
only
in,
one
I
who
took
does
a
that.
picture. You were behind me somewhere, and I said, "This guy's following." But,
like physically following, not following online.
Back in
Like,
my
who is
stalking
this guy?
days.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who documents that stuff, because I have a folder on my phone. I think it's just called exciting. And as I've been growing my account, every time a big account follows me, I would take a screenshot, or like if someone DMs me that is one of these big, well-established accounts, I documented that so I could see, I could look back and be like, I actually do have all these people who want to connect with me. Maybe there is some value to what I'm saying. And it just encourages me a bit more when I go back and look at all that.
Wait until you get jaded and cynical, and Joey Swole likes something that you posted, and it doesn't matter anymore. You feel nothing. That's coming. It's like,
I think that's a great idea, Jacob. It's something that I wish I started doing earlier. And by earlier, I mean ever. But it's a great idea.
You're one of us now, but that's just the way it is. Whatever us is, whatever this whole thing is, I don't know if I'm
Five shirtless
welcome
guys.
to
That's
do
what
that.
this whole thing is.
5 shirtless guys. Just 5
Welcome
That
to
would
the
be a
crew.
different restaurant.
5 shirtless guys. Can we open
It's
that?
just, it's like Five Guys, just a little different. It's not that big. A deal.
Well, that's where we make our healthy fast food, or the healthier fast food, where it's not so much calorie
Listen,
bombs.
they use peanut oil to fry their fries, so it's not technically a seed oil, right? Which means it's good.
It's legume oil.
There we go.
I don't think anyone's ever said that, but it's true.
Yeah.
I like the
Anyone
sound
interested
of
in
it.
some legume oil?
Legume oil.
Lentils are legumes, right?
Boom oil.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So can we get lentil oil? Is that a thing?
That sounds fucking awful.
So one thing that really does bug me in this space is there is so much fear around different individual types of nutrients, products, things. Like I was hosting a dinner party last year, and this was like this mix and match event where I was being sent a bunch of single girls, and I was supposed to invite some of my like single male friends to just, put them together. And in advance, this girl messages me saying that, okay, these are my dietary restrictions. Well, I asked if anyone had any dietary restrictions, and she said that I cannot consume white flour, sugar, or oil.
yeah.
And I tried to clarify, like sesame oil, peanut oil. Does that mean you could have whole wheat flour? Like what's going on here? What does that mean? Like how does one not? How can they not eat oil? Just as a lipids as a category.
It's in
And, like,
everything.
be alive.
Yeah.
Well, it's because people's definition of like what counts and what doesn't count is a lot of it's very arbitrary depending on where you're getting your sources from.
Okay, let me tell you what pisses me off in the fucking like food space and shit. I hate. I think I've talked about it before, but I hate cheat meals and cheat days like just so much. And I was
Yeah.
thinking
Oh, yeah.
about it recently, and I'm like, okay, so basically what you have is a planned binge. That's all you're saying. It's like I'm planning
Yep.
to binge later.
Yep.
And like, but can you imagine if somebody did this? But with not food. Imagine we're having a conversation. Like, hey, Mike, we're having a conversation. All right, start the conversation.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, so that's cool. I have been recently just holding my piss as long as I possibly can. For like 2 days, I just hold my piss. And then like at one point, I just fucking fire hose that shit. And it feels so good. For just like, I piss for like 5 minutes straight. I am pissing. And then I just save it all up again as much until I feel like I'm going to burst. And then I just let it go. So how you doing?
Yeah, actually, good mythical morning.
And
man,
we're
video
gonna
on
clip that, and
did
it's
that.
gonna go viral.
I just like, you would be like, hey, are you okay? Do you need help? I will talk to you. But when it's about food, people are like, oh no, bro, that's totally cool. I do it all the time too. Like, all right, fine, sure.
But the Rock holds his piss that long.
That's like, imagine
Look
you
how
did it
big
with
he
literally
is.
any other bodily function. Like, it's just like I hold my shit for as long as possible. I don't sleep for days, and then I just sleep for a day straight, like 24 hours. You would be like, you're not well, and I need to talk to you. But food is the one thing that we're like, yeah, nah, bro, that's totally normal.
See, I'm going to partially disagree though when it comes to cheat days. And based on like the overall psychology of dieting, I think a big trap that people fall into is viewing it as an all or nothing proposition. Like, I don't eat this, I do eat this. And then as soon as they fall off the bandwagon, it's like, well, I broke my streak, back to the pizza. And really, in order to create like lasting lifestyle changes that, like, outside of certain people who manage to just somehow keep up the same super restrictive diet forever because it's such a big streak. In general, I think it's a lot healthier to view it as shifting a mindset towards being a healthier person, being a person who prioritizes
Right.
one food group over another, a person who eats certain types of foods and avoids other types of foods, not as an all or nothing thing, just as a general trend. And if someone is trying to adopt a new diet, saying that 1 day per week, you're just going to ignore some of these requirements that you put on yourself to realize that that's not going to entirely destroy everything you're doing. You can still have some of the things that you love as long as you do it in moderation. The problem is when they view that as instead, this is the 1 day to see if I can eat 7,000 calories worth of Twinkies because on the other 6 days I can't eat Twinkies.
I think that's how it's going to happen a lot of the time, though, because they are so restrictive. And that's what they often do, is that they're just, by that Sunday rolls around, they're like, God, thank Jesus, I'm able to consume actual food. And so then, of course, they're going to do that. Plus, on top of that, then you have this whole like, oh, it's like I'm going to a friend's party on Thursday, but no, my cheat day Sunday. Sorry, can't do anything then. So you kind of have this like all or not, like only on this day, and you can't.
That's why we'd rather be like, yeah, you can have a Twinkie on Monday and Wednesday and Friday instead of having 10 on Saturday.
So like I think, but no, I get your idea though of just being less restrictive and being like, okay, yeah, it's okay to have this thing. I like that. I would just like rephrase it or rebrand it or whatever as less like of a cheat day and just more of like it's okay to be less restrictive. I don't know. I think there's something there, but I get what you're saying.
The word cheat is a real problem in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're building anticipation or undue value onto it, that it just becomes this whole thing that you think about it all the time. I used to think about food all the time. I don't want to do that anymore. When I was at my heaviest, all day I'd just be like, oh, I can't wait to go to McDonald's for my third time today. I used to be 3 times a day. I'd go there and I was still excited about somehow autism. But if you build anticipation for something, you're going to overdo it, or food rather, should say.
Makes sense.
So don't do that. And if food is the only exciting thing in your life right now,
you go on the roller coaster and then you go on it 20 times and you end up barfing.
I get fucking headaches on roller coasters. I don't really like them all that much.
Same.
I'm not a fan of roller coasters myself.
I don't hate them, but like I'm not like, oh, totally. My head.
I like spinning rides.
Around.
That makes you.
Oh, that face. That face Avisha just gave me.
You're like, oh, I like vomiting. That's just.
I hold my vomit for several days.
And
then I release
what's
it
that
all
ride called? Pepto-Bismol? I'm hopping on.
So I when we were in grade 6, grade 7, I don't know, somewhere around there, we went to Callaway Park, which is a amusement park in Calgary. And they had the merry-go-round, which is one of those ones where you manually spin it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was on there with 3 other guys. And we before the ride started, we sat there like, okay, we are going to spin this as fast as we fucking can. And I was like, fuck yes. Okay. So we get into it. We start going. We're getting fast. 2 of the guys, they're like, oh, I can't take this anymore. And they just kind of bow out. And they're sitting there like, me and one other guy were just cranking at it. And I'm
just
sorry.
That part. Forget the other part.
Me and this other guy.
Me and one other guy. We're cranking it so hard. That's the.
And then we injected the stem cells. But like eventually he gave in, and he was like, no, I can't. And I'm like, screw you guys. I just keep going, and I'm just cranking at this thing so hard. Eventually, the ride stops and the guy comes over to us and he's like, dude, you need to stop. You're going to break the ride because you were going too fast.
The ride's over. Why is he telling you to stop then?
Unfortunately, like I hate to disappoint you, none of them vomited, but like I love the moral of the story was just I love spinny rides and I can handle them. So
all right.
That was the moral of the story. I
guess my stomach has always been weaker than most other parts. Like even back in the day when I would drink more amounts of alcohol, like I've never gotten to the point of real like I'm mentally always there, but my stomach will give out before my brain.
I'm the same way.
Are there stem cells we can send to our stomachs that we could make them not throw up?
I mean, there are all sorts of things you can do when drinking to mitigate the effects to some degree, but stem cells are not typically part of the list.
Yeah, usually it's just a shot of Red 40.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Check out the In Moderation website for a discount code on penis stem cells. That'll be up soon.
We mix them with Red 40 so that things look interesting.
We only have compounded stem cells. So there's vitamin B in it and stuff to make it.
Promo code Mike needs another inch.
Mike needs actually, some doctor said it's a perfect size.
Some doctor.
Completely perfect.
You know what
in
they
fact,
say.
the doctor said it might even be too much.
Was that doctor a psychiatrist?
Oh God, chiropractor.
Good Samaritan.
You went to the happy ending chiropractor, didn't you?
Yeah, some things you really don't want to crack.
God.
Then you need stem cells.
There you go.
So now we've got the whole process figured out that he's been going
We figured it out. It took us an hour to get there, but we figured it out.
There was a study at one point looking at the rate of penile injuries by calendar day.
Oh God.
And
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day was up there. I think the highest was New Year's.
New Year's, interesting. Yeah.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
Like combining lots of copulation with inebriation.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It's fireworks.
So
Did you light the
exciting.
firework with your penis?
People can blow themselves out. Like every year you hear people blowing their hands off. You know there's an equal amount of stories of people blowing their balls off.
Yeah, I don't think that's a penile fracture, though. I think that's kind of a different injury.
Oh, fracture. Mine's really strong. If I had fireworks hit mine, it would be mostly okay. I'd have to take a breather for a couple of days, but it's not in the cards for me to lose it.
Yeah, we've got someone in the ER with a powder residue on.
He keeps saying he's fine, but he's bleeding out. He won't show us ID. He says, you should know who I am. I have 352,000 followers on Instagram. I'm famous. I'm famous. I'm famous, and then passed out. This has been an episode of In Moderation.
Moderation, yeah.
Without much moderation.
We dropped
When are we bringing back Under Moderation? When's that happening?
Next episode, moderation needed.
Oh, there we go. Moderation needed.
Oh,
I
that
like
could be a good one.
There's another
That's
spin-off.
good. I like that.
I'd love to bring back Under Moderation. I've just been too overwhelmed with things. I'm having trouble even organizing this podcast.
We've all got busy schedules, but we made it happen.
Yeah.
Did it again.
Well,
By the way, on a
working
slightly different note,
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about various ways that health creators could possibly monetize in an authentic manner. And I think this is a really, really big problem in the space because you have your like fashion creators can sell clothes and that's authentic. Even just like gym bro, like fitness creators, it's a very easy, direct, like, okay, get my little fitness course. And that's
My
already starting to get
creatine, my
sketchy.
pre-workout.
Well,
all
that's
that
the
stuff.
thing. As soon as you start selling supplements, then all of a sudden your credibility within the more like scientific health debunking type space goes way down. And basically anything like, I know, Rob, you're in Canada, so you don't get this quite as much. But when the dozens of brands reach out on a very regular basis saying, sell my random supplement or health product, even for the ones that I look at what they're doing and I think, you know what, there's some degree of legitimacy here, I still can't sell them because it's too big of a hit to my credibility. As soon as I'm within the space, I can no longer talk about the space. So it's a really, but meanwhile, it's like, if I want to spend the majority of my time reading through medical research and trying to figure out how to actually explain this stuff, it's by definition, whatever I'm spending my most time on, I can't actually turn into any sort of income stream. And there's a lot of ways that at some point we'll have a longer conversation about ways of doing it. But one thing that I've been workshopping just in terms of like, you know, the Patreon model of, you know, you pay for different sorts of tiers. The problem is Patreon is essentially donations. You can give little perks and stuff, but what type of perks can you give that are actually useful? So one thing that I have been working on building is the ability to create a searchable portal for everything that a creator has ever put out. So imagine if you could go to your fans and say, like, I spend all my time talking about all these different topics. TikTok search is bad, but if you pay like $4.99, come in and you can actually get access to a well-indexed searchable database of everything I've ever posted across all these different social media platforms and get the answer directly there. And it's something that could be easily spun up. In fact, I don't have it on my computer right now, but I actually have a demo version, Rob, for your content.
Oh, really?
You were talking about this in our Discord.
Yeah,
a while back. It was around the time that TikTok was about to get banned, I think.
Yeah, it's something where it's very likely. I've been working on this for a while. Yeah. And I think it could be really cool, both for individual creators to offer and even as a potential sort of like aggregate health creator network to have different sorts of opt-ins and subscribe to different people as sort of like an aggregated tool. Like, oh, both even for us to say, okay, who's covered this in what way so we can direct people the other way. But imagine like a database of all the things that we have said that we can provide as sort of a network subscription service to this sort of information. And there's an added level there, which is I don't feel authentic in recommending any type of health product because if I do that in a 60-second video, I can't tell you the week that I spent researching all of their patents, their clinical research trials, the like medical literature review around what they're doing, and it comes across as inauthentic. But if within the portal you can say, okay, these are the products that I use for this reason, and you can see the full stack of why I would or would not recommend it, then suddenly that opens up the space to saying, this is a way that a health influencer can recommend a product with full authenticity because it is paired with the full degree of transparency around why or why not do we actually recommend it.
I like that.
I
like that a lot.
it, but here's one concern I guess I would just have is
Yeah.
like a lot of times people don't want like all of that extra fluff, I guess. I don't, fluff is maybe not the right word, but all of that extra information. Well, often when I talk to people, they're like, listen, Liam, I just want a yes or no. I just want like, I want yes or I want no for this. And like, and for me, like, I'm an honest person. I will tell you if I think this is yes or no, but I know a lot of people are like, you know, shitty and just will say yes to everything to sell it. So like, I don't know. There's sometimes I just want to be able to I feel like
at
it's
the
okay
same time, as long as the indexed videos have their time marks and you can organize them by the duration of the video, even those people can look at the short videos.
like, I guess they
But
can look
that's
them
the
up
thing.
if they want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel a lot more comfortable giving an easy yes or no to something, and even like making a short video selling it if I could say, and if you want the actual reason why I'm doing this, it's there, it's accessible. And for those of you who are interested, it's like publicly available.
That's fair. I think I like that.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Because I think a lot of people are just be like, cool, yeah, sounds good. And just like go along with
the majority, yes. I agree. But
okay, everybody listening, go head over to Avisha's channel. I'll tell you what that is in a second. Go over to his channel and let us know if you would subscribe to that service. And that's your point to drop your channel.
At Distilled
info.
Science. Actually, I should create a sign up at some point to be able to let people really know. I mean, if you go to my website, sign up for the newsletter, it'll definitely be announced there. But this is something I've been workshopping for a while, and I think it could be a really interesting method for people within our space to actually more authentically monetize in a way that actually helps people, because it helps them say, look, actually use this, it works, as opposed to these 17 things that don't.
I am all in for this. For sure. You've got my full, because like I was saying, like we have really narrowed down our money making potential by being fucking honest on the internet, which
sad but true.
Because I get offers in my inbox all the goddamn time to sell GLP-1 medications where they say you can run your own telemedicine clinic. I'm like, motherfucker, I own a please be patient, I'm autistic hat. You do not want me running a medicine clinic. I don't have certifications to do that. Talk to your doctor, not your influencer, but they're offering life-changing amounts of money. I could make what I make in a year and a month doing that stuff, but I won't do it.
There's a massive increase now in companies that are starting to target the GLP-1 space, even just like for supplements. There was one company I was looking at that they're selling a combination supplement targeted at GLP-1 users to give them everything that they are missing. It's basically a scoop of protein powder and a multivitamin that they're selling for a like $80 a month subscription for like a scoop of protein powder and a multivitamin per day. But they're giving that markup because it's targeted at GLP-1 users.
Right.
Smart. Evil, but smart.
Yeah, it is smart. They're going to make a killing off people who don't know any better and just think that, oh, this is what the medicine says I should take alongside my Ozempic. And you know what? It is, but you don't need it with the custom label. It's like women's shampoo.
Also seeing a rise in peptides along with that. Take these peptides instead of GLP-1. Take these peptides with GLP-1.
I think
so
that
another mini rant here. Okay. Ever since Ozempic and GLP-1s have made their way mainstream, people now recognize GLP-1. So there's this whole sector that's like, this is the natural GLP-1 equivalent. Natural GLP-1 equivalent. Take cinnamon, it raises your GLP-1. Grapefruit raises your GLP-1. If you look at the actual biochemistry involved here, when you when you eat food, GLP-1 goes up because it's your body's satiety mechanism. Says, okay, you know what? If you eat a little bit more, you're going to throw up. Like, don't do that. The thing is, natural GLP-1 has an extremely short half-life. It occurs and then immediately dissipates. The way Ozempic works is they've modified the molecule to be an agonist. It locks into that same receptor, but you get one injection and it stays around all week, so that for the duration of the week, your body thinks that it is mostly full. And the amount that you have circulating is orders of magnitude more than you would be getting naturally. And the amount that gets triggered by something like cinnamon is a physiologic level. It's like a 30% increase in GLP-1, not a 3,000% increase that stays all week. So saying that cinnamon is equivalent to Ozempic, it's night and day. There's literally no like relationship there. Yeah, cinnamon will slightly decrease your blood sugar spike after a meal if taken in the suitable quantity before, and whether or not that has a health impact, it's debatable. But it is going to be entirely qualitatively different than a drug like Ozempic.
But what about green tea, though?
Yeah.
I've heard that's way better than...
Green tea is healthy. Drink a lot of green tea.
That honestly, no. Here's my mini rant. At this point, I say fuck it. All the oat Zempic, if you've seen that, where people are drinking oats and lime, and they're like, it's just like Ozempic. I say sure. I don't give a shit. At this point, just say it is and just drink it. Is it Ozempic? Of course it's fucking not. It's not even anywhere close. But it's still oats and like lime and shit. That's good. Or like all these other ones. You know, like we could do another one with like fucking Way Gloomy or whatever, legumes and Wegovy or some shit. Put those together. I don't give a shit. It's beans. It's bean Ozempic. It's all Ozempic. I don't care. Just fucking eat it or drink your tea or whatever. Like I don't give a shit at this point.
And Liam checks out.
That's my fucking rant. But I was gonna say before that, I think the big thing is gonna be the fucking AI trackers, the calorie trackers that are fucking AI. That's gonna be massive. That's gonna be so huge. It's all bullshit, but it's gonna be huge because they can make so much money off it.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be problematic though, because it is true that what you track, like if you actually keep a food log, that is one of the most effective ways of minimizing your total caloric consumption. But it's really hard and annoying, and no one's going to do it for an extended period of time. But if we get really good at the AI tracking for food logging, that could actually be a really useful tool for weight loss. Combine that with the fact, like, I can go and have ChatGPT act as an expert nutritionist, create a low calorie, high satiety, high micronutrient content food set of recipes, have an agentic AI go and place an Instacart order for all the necessary ingredients to make those foods, and have it show up with all the necessary like instructions and not be paying the extra HelloFresh arm and a leg markup on top of it. And that goes right into the tracker. And suddenly you've got this fully like concierge meal service that is.
I think there's a place for AI certainly within all of this, but the idea that you can go to a restaurant and just like take a picture of your food and they're like, oh, 800 calories. Like, yeah, okay, sure. Like we're nowhere near there, but like you could.
We're not quite there in terms of that level of accuracy.
Yeah, like it's not,
we're getting there though.
If you have like, you know, you take a picture like, oh, I have 3 eggs and there's a sweet potato there. Sure, that could probably track that pretty well. But like, you know, what people are using it for right now, it's not. There's no way.
I saw a video of somebody putting it was a bowl of oatmeal, and they took a picture, and AI said it was like 300 calories or something, and then they took an entire bottle of olive oil and put it in there, and like arranged it so that the oatmeal would be on the top, and then they took a picture again. It said 300 calories. Meanwhile, there's like 7,000 calories sitting in there.
Yeah,
so it's right there.
We're not ever going to be. How could it ever tell?
It could get better.
You'd have to like scan every single ingredient and have to know like how big it is and how much volume it's taking up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
maybe if you took the picture before cooking.
It's really about user training. Like people need to know what types of foods will be accurate and what types will not. If you're talking about like a grilled chicken breast, it's easier to estimate that. There are certain types of like salads where the ingredients are discrete, and then you have to like maybe figure out the typical dressing concentration, what have you. Like there are some things that they won't be able to tell, but it can at least get you part of the way there, do a guesstimate. The problem is you definitely can't rely on it as a 100%, and you got to know which things it's going to be completely off about.
Just do your best. Whoever's listening to us right now, if you're
don't
listening
do your best.
here,
just don't do your worst. That's what we
just
say.
Don't do
Fuck
your worst.
Just don't do your worst.
Do your worst.
Put that on a shirt. Don't do your worst.
Just don't be your worst, and that's fine.
And apparently also don't be Canadian. That's what I've learned.
That's the number takeaway.
I keep saying it.
We need to have an intervention, Rob. You can't do this anymore.
Meanwhile, like I often spend a lot of time, you know, using like Chronometer, trying to track exactly what I'm eating and creating these different recipes to try and figure out like how to cram more calories into my day. I have a really hard time putting on weight.
Yeah, I feel that.
Isn't that a crazy position to be in?
It gets very little sympathy.
Oh yeah. After losing 110 pounds, I never thought my situation would be I've got to put weight on. Yeah. But sure enough, that's what it was. And it's taken me, almost 3 years now to put on a healthier 20 pounds.
I mean, one of the single best like metrics that correlates with longevity and healthy longevity and health span is muscle mass. And it gets harder and harder to put on muscle mass the older you get. So like putting on as much as possible now is great.
So
But
what you're saying
it's
is
hard if
get
you
into
can't
the
maintain a caloric
peptides
surplus.
and take the testosterone, and, all that sort of stuff.
Take steroids.
Yeah, TRT, SARMs, it's fascinating how steroids, there's a lot of like research coming out now where like people who are former like steroids users, the impact stays with their body in the sense that they will like always be able to maintain more muscle than people who haven't used them. And that doesn't necessarily mean that those people are going to have long-term net health positives, but it does have interesting implications for like bodybuilding competitions and current steroid use versus former steroid use.
Right.
Right.
It's also, I think we're going to start seeing a very different sort of approach to TRT, especially for people in like not like it's very stigmatized now in many ways, but I feel like it probably gets a bad rap because
I know
if someone in their
people who
40s
are-
has on the very low end,
Yeah.
like if
See,
it
I
lets
think
them
the
put on
issue is-
muscle.
I know
Yeah,
people
go-
who
go,
are
Jay.
about my age who are starting TRT with perfectly normal testosterone levels
Right.
just to like get that
Yeah.
boost.
Yeah, that's not
When
TRT.
in reality,
That's called
like-
steroids.
Yeah.
That's called a
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh yeah, I mean, not that there's ever an age that you should. Yeah, you're 40. It's time to start on steroids. But yeah, that's insane. You don't even give yourself a chance
Yeah.
at that point.
Like unless
I
you
know a
have
guy
a
who had-
diagnosed like testicular condition, then
Yeah, I know a guy who had higher testosterone than I have right now who started TRT. And it's just like, unless
Good
you're
job
just
throwing
basically
away
going-
money each month.
Unless
also
you're,
good
like,
job potentially
going on
destroying your body's
cycle.
ability to endogenously produce testosterone. So you might have to be on like the TRT stuff for the rest of your life if you don't do it like carefully.
That's what scares me. That's the no-go. There's nothing that would make me risk that.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying. Like I'm sure I would feel better if I took more testosterone, but like I don't want to do that to myself.
It's like the after however many generations of humans reproducing, I don't want to take something to make me feel a little bit better that's just going to cut off the potential of me reproducing.
I got a vasectomy. I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm gonna start blasting 1,000 milligrams of tren.
Jacob's over here talking about reproducing. Meanwhile, Liam's like, I want the snip, and Mike's already got the snip.
Yeah, I'm fucking.
Hey, speaking of new science, there is now a male IUD.
I saw that, bro.
I heard about
stuff's
that.
so cool. Yeah.
Right?
They finally passed it, huh?
See, the scary thing to me is it's basically like a little switch you could turn on and off. But like, imagine forgetting the position, like on, off. It's in.
Hold on, I got to turn my balls off.
Wait,
Give me a
so
second.
I saw the no. I saw the one that's it's like for a certain period of time. Like you put like a hard
Yeah.
like it's like a hard gel or something basically in there that like
Yeah, that is one. There is one that was announced pretty recently that seems to be like potentially like a little mechanical thing that you could flip on and off.
I
That
haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
I've been following that
I-
one. That one's interesting.
presumably there would be a ironclad way of telling which setting it's.
Yeah, I would hope so.
It
Can I
beeps.
rename the settings to like full blast or like off? Like what? Can I?
I want to set a ringtone. So every time I switch it, it's like
Oh, that
Just,
there you go. You just need to connect to Bluetooth, and then you can look at your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
Okay, am I fertile right now? On off.
like
You know-
Kiss from a Rose out of my sack, and that's how I know that I can.
God
start
damn you,
going.
Mike Kiss from a rose. For those who don't know, on my live streams on Twitch, Mike will come in, and I've got the ability to request songs if you put 50 bits in the jukebox. Mike will put like 10,000 bits in, and it'll be like play "Kiss from a Rose" 20 times.
I had to tell my account
ever heard the,
that
like,
that's where the money was going because she was like, "Why is there a bunch of money going to Twitch?" So don't worry, that's me. No one stole
It's an
my money.
investment.
It's an investment.
Have you ever heard the like John Mulaney sketch about like what's new Pussycat?
Oh, that's a great one. I know exactly what you're talking about.
There was, I once had Rob play 10 Kisses from a Rose, and then I think it was one like 800, or it was what was like
It was a
2,000
1 hertz
megahertz.
sine wave.
1 kilohertz sine wave.
Yeah,
So it's just suddenly after 10 Kisses from a Rose, it's like
yeah.
200.
Mike is a lot of chaos in my stream.
Still haven't been banned. That all being said,
Well, it's 'cause you
I
keep
do have
donating.
to clock out of here, so I am going to remove
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, make sure.
Well, that's
everybody
okay. It's time to wrap up.
tell people where to find you. It's all this normal shit. Jesus, you've been on this
I
podcast
say
like
this
5 times. You already know.
Every time I'm here, I tell you, I don't want anybody more finding me. Not enough people find me. But if you want to find me, you can find me at Mike Needs a Plan on Instagram and TikTok. I think I'm in other places. You can also go to school.com/plan. You can find me there. SKOOL. What about everybody else?
All right,
Just me?
Just you.
see you, Mike. I mean, Find me on @DistilledScience everywhere.
I'm
All the
Jacob
places.
Foods.
And I,
Assuming that your recording actually goes through this time, Jacob.
yeah.
Hey, I haven't gotten any problems yet.
Jacob is at Jacob's Foods.
There we go.
In
Wait,
case you
there's
couldn't
no
hear me.
O in the
Or
name
Jacob
though,
Foods.
right? It's just
There, so
JACB.
the username is JACB Foods, but if you look
Yeah.
up Jacob Foods, I think it'll still pop up.
You'll probably find it.
Just
That's-
making sure people can find you because you've got awesome content. So
Thank you.
yeah, if you guys are not following Jacob yet, go ahead and do it.
Go follow these three gentlemen while they stand around shirtless for you, and everybody don't be your worst.
We're also all pantsless, right?
Well, yeah, duh.
Just me? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's how every podcast starts.
That's how you just start the call.
It's obviously Banana Hammock Wednesday.
We learned that
Jesus,
over
guys.
COVID.
And if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can see this entire podcast, but filmed from the waist down. Whole different show.
Hey, wasn't that a great time? Listen to the podcast. You were just, I'm assuming you were just listening to In Moderation. So if you go ahead and hit the 5-star button, is that a thing? The like button?
That's a thing.
No.
Yep.
The like button
5
on
stars.
YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, not the dislike button. That's a bad button. The
Bad
like
button.
button.
Don't touch.
Hit all,
Don't
so
touch
hit
it.
all the other buttons. The share. You can go check out
Subscribe, all those things.
subscribe. Go check out our Patreon. We do have a Patreon. It's free to join if you want, or you could give us some money. That'd be really cool, like $1 or $2. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have.
That's where you'll find all the news for this.
We're super appreciative. You can find all sorts of other stuff there. We do giveaways, I think, sometimes,
Sometimes.
all that good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So, peace.